Namaskar, good evening. You are watching Rajya Sabha television. I'm Smriti Rastogi with News Tonight. Let's begin the bulletin with the top headlines. Big success for security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. Main accused in Pulwama terror attack. Mudassir among two Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists shot dead in Tral area of South Kashmir. 18 terrorists killed so far since 14th February attack. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Sheikh Hasina jointly inaugurate 4 projects from New Delhi and Dhaka through video conferencing. Projects relate to supply of buses and trucks and 36 community clinics financed by India in 5 districts of Bangladesh. NIA Court defers verdict in Samjhauta Express blast case till 14th March. 2007 case relates to blast in 2 coaches of Samjhauta Express. 68 people were killed on their way to Pakistan. And President Ram Nath Kovind confers Padma Awards on 47 of this year's 112 recipients at Rashtrapati Bhavan. Recipients include actor Mohan Lal, politicians Sukhdev Singh Dhindsa and Hukumdev Narayan Yadav, who were given Padma Bhushan Award. Veteran journalist Kuldeep Nair given the award posthumously. Our top focus tonight, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bangladeshi counterpart Sheikh Hasina jointly inaugurated several development projects via video conferencing on Monday. The Prime Minister said that these projects will further enhance relations between the two neighbours.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bangladesh counterpart Sheikh Hasina unveiling e-plaques for development projects in Bangladesh through video conference on Monday. The projects relate to supply of buses and trucks, inauguration of 36 community clinics, 11 water treatment plants and extension of national knowledge network to Bangladesh. Prime Minister Modi said these projects will boost connectivity between the two neighbours.
बसों और ट्रक्स की आपूर्ति बांग्लादेश सरकार द्वारा एफोर्डेबल पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट प्रदान करने के प्रयासों में सहायक भूमि अदा करेगी। वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स हजारों घरों में शुद्ध पेयजल पहुंचाएंगे और कम्युनिटी क्लिनिक्स इससे लगभग 2 लाख लोग लाभान्वित होंगे, जिन्हें अपने घरों के पास स्वास्थ्य सेवाएं उपलब्ध होगी। भारत बांग्लादेश संबंध दोनों देशों की जनता की क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ सुधारने के लिए महत्वपूर्ण और सकारात्मक भूमिका अदा कर रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi also expressed confidence that bilateral relations between India and Bangladesh will continue to improve.
एक्सेलेंसी, साथ मिलकर पिछले 5 वर्षों में भारत बांग्लादेश संबंधों के सोनाली अध्याय के लिए काम करने को मैं अपना बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य मानता हूं और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि पिछले 5 वर्ष हमारे लिए जितने गौरवशाली रहे हैं, आगामी 5 वर्षों में हमारे द्विपक्षीय संबंध उससे भी अधिक ऊंचाई हासिल करेंगे।
The Prime Minister also praised Sheikh Hasina, calling her vision the biggest inspiration for stronger connectivity between India and Bangladesh. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now all the news from the upcoming Lok Sabha elections 2019. The Election Commission put an end to the controversy being created by some political parties over the Lok Sabha election schedule. The poll panel said on Monday that it was not possible to postpone the polls for the full month of Ramzan, underlining that main festival days and Fridays have been excluded. The 7-phase Lok Sabha polls are beginning from April 11th and will conclude on May 19th. The counting will take place on 23rd of May. The holy month of Ramzan, in which Muslims fast during the day is likely to begin on May 6th this year. And highlighting this, leaders of certain parties demanded change in the poll schedule, saying it would be difficult for Muslims to cast their votes while fasting. And moving on to some more developments, with the election schedule for the Lok Sabha polls announced, political parties have now swung into action to discuss preparations for the crucial elections. The BJP Election Manifesto Committee, chaired by Home Minister Rajnath Singh, met on Monday, and meeting was also attended by Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Urban Development Minister Hardeep Singh Puri, Agriculture Minister Radha Mohan Singh, Bhupendra Yadav, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, among others. The Congress has also begun discussions on selecting candidates in Kerala and Karnataka for the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. A screening committee of both state units met in Delhi on Monday. The Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee also discussed on the formula to share seats with its coalition partner, Janata Dal Secular, for the Lok Sabha polls. The two parties are ruling Karnataka as coalition partners. And in Tamil Nadu, the AIADMK kick-started its candidate selection process for the April 18th Lok Sabha elections in the state, with the interview of ticket aspirants of 10 constituencies. The party also invited applications from aspiring candidates for the by-polls to 18th assembly segments, which will be held along with the parliamentary polls. NCP Chief Sharad Pawar announced on Monday that he will not contest the upcoming Lok Sabha election. The veteran politician said, as two members of his family are going to contest the polls, he decided to step back. Speaking to reporters after meeting party leaders, the NCP Supremo said he has already won elections 14 times and now he wants to make way for others. He announced that his nephew and former Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar's son, Parth Pawar, will be NCP's candidate from Mawal Lok Sabha constituency. Reacting to Pawar's decision, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis said he pulled out from the poll fray because he sensed the change in the air. And ahead of the general elections, micro-blogging platform Twitter on Monday went live with the Transparency Center for India. That would allow people to view details of political advertisements in the country, including advertiser spends and impressions data. Twitter had last month announced that it would provide details, including advertising spends and impressions data of tweets from political entities to users in India, as it sought to bring in greater transparency on its platform by tightening norms for political advertisements. Twitter, in its blog post on February 19th, had said enforcement of this policy would begin in the week starting March 11th in specific countries, including India, after which only certified advertisers will be allowed to run political campaign advertisements on its platform. With ensuing general elections, the government had warned social media platforms of strong action if any attempt was made to influence the country's electoral process through undesirable means. And now the news from Jammu and Kashmir, where the mastermind of the February 14th Pulwama terror attack has been killed in the encounter in South Kashmir's Tral area. Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist Mudassir Ahmad Khan was one of the two militants killed in the encounter in Tral area that started Sunday evening and went on till the early hours of Monday. The body of the second militant has not yet been identified. Mudassir Ahmad Khan was the main conspirator of the attack on the CRPF convoy in Pulwama, in which 40 personnel were martyred. Since the February 14th attack, 18 militants have been killed in various actions by the security forces. The killing of Mudassir Ahmad Khan is being termed as a significant dent to Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed.
Two identities which have come, one Mudassir is confirmed, the other identity which we have received is Code Khalid, who is a Pakistani terrorist apparently of Jaish-e-Mohammed.
We are working in close coordination with the National Investigative Agency, the NIA, and I'm sure sooner than later the rest of these players who are involved in this attack on our convoy shall be dealt with. That's all.
And we have eliminated 18 terrorists so far in last 21 days. Out of them, 14 being from JEM, and 6 of them their main commanders. And we have also eliminated JEM's second commander, Mudassir, who was active for more than a year now and was the main conspirator in the National Highway convoy attack on the CRPF convoy.
And with that, we'll slip into a very quick break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay with us.
To discuss further the importance of Latin America and Central America in diplomatic and strategic sphere for India.
The Vice President set the stage for a new stage of expansion in our relations with Latin America.
Explore ways of accessing third country markets, for instance, for both goods as well as for services. And this could be a mutually beneficial kind of a relationship.
Latin American countries have been more afflicted by narco-terrorism, and but they understand the pains and the rigor and the devastation that terror causes.
Watch The Big Picture with me, Vishal Dahiya, at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha TV.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge.
हम संख्या बल के सामने सर झुकाते हैं और आपको विश्वास दिलाते हैं कि जो कार्य हमने अपने हाथ में लिया है वो जब तक राष्ट्रीय उद्देश्य पूरा नहीं कर लेंगे तब तक विश्राम से नहीं बैठेंगे।
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं।
देखिए हमारा विशेष कार्यक्रम चुनाव का सफर सिर्फ राज्य सभा टीवी पर।
The prolific British poet and story writer Joseph Rudyard Kipling, one of the first masters of short stories in English. In 1894 appeared his Jungle Book, which became a children's classic all over the world. Kim, the story of Kimball O'Hara and his adventures in the Himalayas, is perhaps his most felicitous work published. Set in and concerned with India he had come to know and love so well. In 1907, Kipling became the first English language writer to receive the Nobel Prize for Literature.
नेताजी का नारा, तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा। नेताजी और आजाद हिंद फौज की याद में बना लाल किले के परिसर में संग्रहालय। इस संग्रहालय पर देखिए हमारा खास कार्यक्रम बोस म्यूजियम, सिर्फ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
Welcome back. The Supreme Court on Monday refused to stay the centre's decision to grant 10% quota to poor candidates in the general category. The Apex Court said that the next hearing of the petition challenging the 10% reservation in general category will be held on 28th of March, when senior advocate Rajiv Dhawan argued that the matter needs to be heard by a constitution bench. Since it is the question of basic structure, the Supreme Court said that it will consider if the issue needs to go before the constitution bench. A special NIA court on Monday put off the pronouncement of verdict in the 2007 Samjhauta Express blast case and posted the matter for 14th of March after a Pakistani woman filed a petition claiming she had some evidence relevant to the case. The petition was filed by the advocate on behalf of Rahila El Wakil. The final arguments in this case were concluded on 6th of March and the verdict was reserved for 11th of March. 68 people were charged to death in the blast in 2 coaches of the Samjhauta Express near Panipat on 18th February 2007. The NIA in its charge sheet had named 8 persons as accused. Foreign Secretary Vijay Gokhale is on a 3-day visit to the US. He will call on US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and meet other senior officials of the Trump administration and exchange views on a major foreign policy and security-related issues amidst tensions between India and Pakistan after the Pulwama terror attack. Gokhale arrived in the US for the bilateral Foreign Office consultation and strategic security dialogue with his American counterparts, Under Secretary of State for Political Affairs David Haley and Under Secretary of State for Arms Control and International Security Andrea Thompson. Gokhale's meetings with Pompeo and his counterparts are considered significant in view of the escalated tensions between India and Pakistan in the aftermath of India's preemptive airstrike on the largest terrorist training camp of Jaish-e-Mohammed in Balakot in Pakistan and the subsequent developments. And for more on this, we'll go across to Mr. Pramit Chaudhury, Foreign Affairs Editor, Hindustan Times. So thank you so much for speaking to Rajya Sabha Television. What is on the agenda of Foreign Secretary Vijay Gokhale's visit to the US?
As you mentioned, the primary focus will be the follow-up, if you wish, of the Indo-Pakistan military confrontation and what counterterrorism actions can be taken against Pakistan over the coming weeks. America gave us very strong support, saying India had full right of self-defense after the Pulwama attack. And made it very clear that it would not intervene or interfere with India's military strike against Pakistan. And at the United Nations, as you know, America and other Western countries are attempting to sponsor the blacklisting of the Jaish-e-Mohammed leader Masood Azhar. These are some of the actions that are there, and of course there's the listing of Pakistan on the FATF, the Financial Anti-Terrorism Action Force. And I think those are some of the actions that India will want to discuss. Mr. Gokhale will be discussing with his American counterparts when he's there.
How helpful will it be in de-escalating the tensions with Pakistan at the moment, between India and Pakistan?
Well, Pakistan knows that one of the results of the Pulwama attack has been that it has been extremely diplomatically isolated. Of the 4 traditional friends Pakistan has had internationally, the United States, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and China, 3 of them have criticized or or at least privately turned against Pakistan. And the only one that was neutral, China, insofar as it declined to say, criticize either India or Pakistan, was effectively a loss for Pakistan. So the more diplomatic pressure India can place on Pakistan, the better, because it will make it much more difficult, or Pakistan will be more reluctant to consider escalation, and will mean that the initiative lies with India rather than with Pakistan.
What is America's stand on this entire issue between India and Pakistan?
As I mentioned, they have said publicly that India has a right of self-defense, criticized Pakistan's sponsorship of terrorism, and supported another attempt at blacklisting Jaish-e-Mohammed. So, I mean, we couldn't really ask for more support from the United States. And I think the other thing that the Foreign Secretary will ask for is for the United States to speed up its investigation of the use of an F-16 by Pakistan against India. One, because it will allow us to confirm whether or not an F-16 was shot down by the Indian Air Force. And second, they will India will then press, if the F-16 can be proven to have been used, ask for punitive action by the United States against Pakistan, since that would violate its end-user agreement with the U.S.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chaudhury, for joining us and giving us all those very important details and a brighter perspective into that development. Moving on, Ethiopian Airlines grounded its Boeing 737 MAX 8 fleet after a crash that killed 157 passengers, including 4 Indians and 8 crew members. All 149 passengers and 8 crew members on board died when Nairobi-bound flight ET-302 came down just 6 minutes after taking off from Addis Ababa on Sunday. People holding passports from 32 countries and the UN were on board the plane, which plowed into a field just 60 kilometers southeast of Addis Ababa. Ethiopian and American investigators will probe the crash. Rescue crew were retrieving human remains from the wreckage. Ethiopian Airlines confirmed there are no survivors. And External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj tweeted, and I quote, "I am sorry to know about the unfortunate crash of Ethiopian Airlines plane ET-302. We have lost 4 Indian nationals in the air crash. I have asked the Indian High Commissioner in Ethiopia to provide all help and assistance to the bereaved families," unquote. One of the dead was Shikha Garg, who was a consultant with the Ministry of Environment and Forest. She was traveling to attend the UNEP meeting in Nairobi. World leaders offered condolences to distraught next of kin. UN Chief Antonio Guterres has condoled the accident and said that he was deeply saddened at the tragic loss of lives, as it emerged that UN staff were also among the dead. And that's all we have for you in this edition of News Tonight. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.